Good evening from the Channel's newsroom here in London. Pakistan's former military leader, General Pervez Musharraf, has been sentenced to death at a special court hearing in Islamabad. The three-member court sentenced him over a high treason charge that has been pending since 2013. General Musharraf seized power in a military coup in 1999 and served as the country's president from 2001 to 2008. He is currently in Dubai after being allowed to leave the country for medical treatment in 2016. The charge relates to General Musharraf's suspension of the constitution in 2007, when he imposed emergency rule in a move intended to extend his tenure. However, the former president's lawyer denounced the handling of a death sentence by the country's anti-terror court as all wrong. He claimed no one had given so much progress to the country. A massive protest has broken out in India's capital, Delhi, as anger at a citizenship law spreads across the country. Video from the city's Seelampur area shows stone-throwing crowds facing off against police. Officers retaliated with tear gas and batons. Local reports say several protesters and officers have been injured. The protest comes days after clashes between police and demonstrators in Delhi left at least 50 people hurt. The new law offers citizenship to non-Muslims from 3 nearby countries. Protesters are claiming that the act will marginalise them. There are reports of a police station being set on fire, and police have said many buses have been vandalised. Meanwhile, wreckage of burnt cars, damaged phone booths and shattered tents was all that was left in the streets of Beirut and the southern Lebanese city of Sidon after clashes raged overnight. The violence is mainly between the army and Shiite groups. Ignoring calls for restraint by politicians, youths tried to break a security cordon to storm the square, where demonstrators have set up tents as part of an anti-government protest that has been going on for weeks. Scores of youths had burnt tyres, smashed office buildings and torched several cars. And in France, hundreds of protesters took to the streets in the western city of Nantes in continuing protests against President Emmanuel Macron's proposed plans of pension reforms. Striking workers from major workers' union CGT, high school students, feminist activists and others gathered peacefully next to the historic castle to oppose the reforms. The protest is part of a series of actions set to unfold across France as unions try to bring new momentum to the general strike that began almost 2 weeks ago. Boeing will temporarily halt production of its troubled 737 MAX airliner in January. That's according to the manufacturer. Production of the jet had continued despite the model being grounded for 9 months after 2 deadly crashes. More than 300 people died when 2 737 MAX aircraft crashed in Indonesia and Ethiopia after reported problems with a new feature. Boeing had been hoping to have the planes back in the air by the end of this year, but US regulators made it clear they would not be certified to return to the skies that quickly. One analyst predicted the decision by Boeing would impact the US economy.
For Boeing to announce that it could suspend production, and we don't know how long that would be, is really going to create some chaos for the airlines that are involved in this, as well as the 600 or so companies that are part of the 737 MAX supply chain and Boeing itself. It's going to have substantial impact on the U.S. economy.
Pope Francis has abolished a Vatican rule which forbade anyone who reported they had been sexually abused by a priest from talking about it. The rule, known as pontifical secrecy, is also lifted for those who testify in a Vatican trial over clerical sexual abuse. Church leaders called for the rule's abolition at a February Vatican summit. Information in abuse cases should still be treated with security, integrity and confidentiality. And finally, a security camera installed in a gas station in Russia's Siberian Novosibirsk region has captured the moment a female employee fought off a robber with a mop. At first, the thief uses pepper spray against the woman who rushes into the gas station shop, but she then comes back wielding a mop, which she uses to fight off the man who runs away with just some small change. And that's your international news around the world in 5.